You'll never find a more wretched show of fun and villainy. We should be cautious.
Scroll Boys.
It's my favorite paper. I've read it 93 times.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chatter Squadron Fun and Villainy. My name is Tyler Buck, sat across from Mike Calhoun and Johnny Schroebridge. As always, we're your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and positivity, and it's time for the all-out Brawl tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's that music again. Johnny's ready to brawl all of our fighters. It seems like a world away, gentlemen, when we started this tournament.
It does feel that way.
Yes.
How long ago was it? Quite some time.
It was quite some time ago. I should have listed when it happened.
I believe it was in January.
That's a good point. And now we're in March, and March is the time for tournaments.
Sure it is. March Madness.
Exactly. It's madness that we were able to fit our tournament into this month, everybody. So if you're coming into this late, on our social medias, we put out polls, basically different fighters facing each other from the Star Wars universe, and people were able to vote, and whoever won moved on to the next round. And in this way, we are going to announce who won in each fight and the final. And even these two, Mike and Johnny, don't know who wins the entire thing.
We don't know who won the whole thing. We made sure not to know. The bracket was 16 fighters in a tournament style bracket, two sides, and we're like I said, we're like Tyler said, we're going to go over them each round again, and all of those graphics are on our social media. So check us out.
Yeah,
Instagram,
if you didn't,
Twitter, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah,
there you go.
Foursquare.
Foursquare.
Yeah, you can see
And
us
7
playing
years
Foursquare. Oh, he had a better joke. Keep going.
Thank you. Man, I lost what I was going to say.
You were
That
about
joke.
to talk-
That joke just blew it out of the
It was
water.
a great one, though.
But no. So if you haven't voted on those, you could go vote on them just out of solidarity.
Yeah,
but
go vote for him.
The way
Posterity.
that's true. The way we came up with this fighting bracket was literally a dice roll.
Yeah. Well, it was also just a concocted idea by yourself, and it turned into a great idea with a bunch of great art and a bunch of cool results that we got to involve the community with. And boy, oh boy, did you guys get involved.
Are you ready to dive into the first round?
Let's get into the first round matchups.
So, the very first fight that we highlighted was Yoda versus Darth Maul. Actually, not Darth Maul, just Maul, because that's something too. We gave a timeline for when each of these characters were fighting at. And I won't get into this there. You could go back to the first All Out Brawl episode we did where we explained in detail when they were fighting and what weapons they were using and that type of thing.
Obviously, this was to avoid, Yoda on his deathbed fighting Maul.
Right, exactly. So Yoda versus Maul. Yoda won that fight 90% to 10%.
Seems like a pretty defined win.
It's actually the most defined win in the entire tournament, believe it or not.
You know what? I do believe it because when we were making predictions, this was one of the ones where we went, good luck, Maul.
Dead.
Johnny said immediately that he'd be dead.
He's dead.
Dead. Do you think Yoda would kill him? He'd have to.
Well, yeah, in order to move
It's a tournament.
on. Yoda loves
So much
Yoda
death.
loves trophies. He's a big fan of them.
He's very, very vain.
And before we move on,
That's what he's known for.
even further, these are rounded up and rounded down answers. So like Yoda won 90 or 89.55% to Maul's 10.45%. So I just rounded them.
We won't
up
be
and
going
down.
over those details for the rest of them.
Right. The next one, Darth Vane versus Bastila Shan. Bane won 68% to 32%.
What a bummer.
Two representatives of our top 5 most powerful Sith and
Jedi, respectively.
Episode.
And Johnny is a huge fan of Bastila Shan.
Yeah.
I think you were pulling for Bastila Shan in this
she should've
matchup
won. She should've
earlier
won.
on.
It's a shame.
She should have won the whole thing.
No, but she should be Bane. 32% is pretty good, though. That's not bad.
I'm glad that 32% of Bastila Shan's fans showed up and represented.
This one and it'll continue as we go on. It's still perplexing to me. Count Dooku versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. Kenobi won 64% to 35%.
How can you be so surprised? Let me list all the times that Obi-Wan beat Count Dooku. Oops.
Moving on. No. This was one that we've talked about in previous episodes where, people were commenting Obi-Wan
With their various
memes,
Obi-Wan memes.
and then other people were writing full, novels about why Count Dooku would definitely beat Obi-Wan,
Right.
and then someone else would just be like, "Hello there,"
Right.
and then it would just snowball to the point where Count Dooku was knocked out of the competition. I honestly thought Count Dooku was going to continue on more, at least more than the first round, but no.
Well, you can lead a Kenobi fan to the blue milk, but you cannot make them drink.
That's true.
Luke Skywalker, a drinker of blue and green milk versus Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine won that 58% to 42%.
Disappointing, in my opinion.
I thought Luke
disappointing
would've won
early round dismissal for Luke Skywalker. Did you think he was going to go far?
Yeah, I thought Luke would probably go a little bit farther. Seeing
think
as,
he's gonna
like,
go
didn't
all.
George say he was, like, the most powerful?
Yeah,
Yes.
he did.
Oh, well.
Well, this is one of the things too, similar to we're going to get to Revan in a little bit here. Similar to Revan, Luke was written about and put in so many different games and so many different things so many times. So like Grandmaster Luke in Legends is this crazy, super powerful being.
Yeah.
So we took him at the end of Return of the Jedi
Right.
because that's a much more, you could calculate that more than just, because we even
It's
said
also
this
more
on the,
recognizable.
right, but also on the show we've said that he was just like the protagonist that a whole bunch of stories took back in the day when it was like, all right, we're gonna make a Star Wars book. It's about Luke, and he talks to a planet, and you know what I mean. So
He does. He communicates with the planet through the Force. Now, whenever I think of non-canon Luke now, that's the Luke I think of. It's cool because it's actually a cool thing that he did. You know, I don't know. I think that's a clever way for Luke to go, but I'm glad those are not canon because of the Yuuzhan Vong.
But he will not be going into the second round. Emperor Palpatine will. We have Darth Vader versus Mace Windu. Windu was one of the ones that I said would probably go the furthest, but Vader won 75% to Windu 25%.
That's a shame.
That's
That's unbelievable.
I know, right?
I also agree.
Yeah.
Sure, there's tons of fans of Darth Vader, of course, and I love Darth Vader myself.
Right.
But when I think as a Star Wars fan, and I think of I go back into my 6th grade nerd brain, and I think of these matchups. I'm like, come, it's Mace all the way.
Yeah.
So it's sad. Another dismissal from the first round.
Darth Revan versus General Grievous. Revan won that one 83% to 17%.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I actually thought Grievous would lose by a lot more.
I thought it was going to be like 7%.
Right.
It would be more egregious, or not egregious, but
Grievous.
more of a defined win than Yoda versus Maul. But we were not. We underestimated the power of the General Grievous fan.
Yeah, that's true. When we had Joshua Witzeman on the show, he was
Grievous all the way.
Yeah, he had a sign. He was picketing outside of the.
He wouldn't come on the show until we admitted that General Grievous was a great character, A, and that he would beat Darth Revan, B.
He
and we're
wanted
like,
us
fine, we admit it.
He wanted us to fluff the votes, but we drew the line there.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to get us to lie about,
Well, we
numbers.
did a little bit. It was 16 before, and then we moved it.
We bumped it up 1%.
Wait, let me see if that's actually what was 16.84%. So
we fluffed it.
Yeah,
We gave it a
fluffed it just a bit.
by oh man.
Rey versus Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka won 88% to 12%.
IG 88%.
Yes, exactly. And then Kylo Ren versus Galen Merrick. Merrick won 87% to 13%. Galen's
true.
your guy.
Sad.
Galen wins against Kylo any day.
Ooh.
Galen,
Big Galo.
Kylo's
Galen
got
fan over
nothing.
here.
He
I was
can't
about to
even
say
make a
Galo.
lightsaber.
Oh! Well, at least
Yeah, I knew you were going to come back.
Kylo didn't have his
What?
master
Yeah.
make it for him like Galen did.
He made his own. There's a whole video of Galen making his own.
He
How about this? Galen isn't even a real person. He's a clone.
Oh, wait, no, he is a real person. He had clones made of him.
yes, but the one you play in the game is a clone.
But there
as
is a
well.
real Galen.
Yeah, but he's just
dead.
He's a sperm
He
in a
dead.
Whoa.
Swimming in a galaxy far, far away. Oh,
So crazy. You're saying even his clones are more powerful than Kylo. Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
I'm not saying
No, I'm
that.
saying that those aren't even real people. You heard it here first. Clones aren't people.
Well, here I want to say
Moving
this: none of these
They're all
characters
disposable.
are real people.
Hey.
Let's go to the second
right.
round. I will say that it's sad to see the new trilogy members of the tournament bow out early. Shame. Let's move on. Second round, first matchup is Yoda versus Darth Bane. We thought this was going to be a really close one. This is going to be a really tough one.
And it did get a lot of votes. Yoda wins this one 67% to 33%, which is he put up a pretty good fight on that one.
Surely.
Darth Bane did.
Surely.
And it would definitely be a fun fight to watch.
Imagine that, though.
Right.
That was the most fun going through these matchups. It was like, ooh, what would that look
What
like?
would
Where
it
would that
even
take
look like?
place?
Right.
What would be the circumstances?
Because Bane is massive, and he's a hulking brute. You know, his fighting style was Form 5, so a lot of overhand, strong strikes. And then you have little Yoda bouncing around him the whole time. I have a hard time believing, because Darth Bane is a master of Sarisu, which is the defending form, that he wouldn't be able to defend enough for Yoda to get tired in order to then capitalize off of that. But I mean, if Yoda taunts him and
That's what I'm
jumps
thinking.
around him enough, maybe he could have taken him down.
I
Plus-
think Yoda would have. Go ahead.
Plus, they're fighting in Atagunga, so he could bounce off the walls a lot.
No, remember they were fighting in the Geonosian arena.
No, the version of Atagunga that is the Geonosian Arena.
Oh, I see. Right, I forgot. I missed that.
Yeah, you might have missed that part.
That email you sent out about the change of scenery.
That's right.
I was gonna say I think Yoda would have tired out Bane by just playing the evasion game for a while. I think he would have toyed with him. He would have summed up a few windstorms and stuff with the Force. He would have been just meditating there, waiting for Bane to charge. So I am with you, Yoda fans. Moving on.
Bane would have had a cool head in the fight, but that's just me. I didn't. That's the thing. We didn't decide this.
We didn't decide. These.
We were able to vote.
Can you tell?
Exactly. We were able to vote for who we,
And we did.
wanted,
We
but
did,
we
yeah.
just counted as one vote. Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Sidious. Kenobi won this one too. What the?
Perfect. This is true.
I can't even.
Obi-Wan.
I can't even fan cast what this fight would look like. It doesn't happen.
You never saw me fight him before.
That's right. You
That's what it was.
They should have switched it up. It should have been Obi-Wan that went after Sidious, and then
You're right.
Yoda went after Darth.
No.
Yeah, that's what it should have been.
Wait, you're talking about in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm talking about A New Hope all the way through.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Like Luke
Yeah.
gets sacrificed.
Kill him.
Something I had to do, Luke. I'm sorry. I just had to sacrifice you. I have to bring balance. And then,
And then
he
he, like,
goes and fights Sidious. He's like,
Beats him
"Anakin,
one-handed."
Anakin, I know there's good in you. And then he brings him back. That's totally how it was supposed to happen.
No, he goes up. Okay, this is what happens.
Okay, I'm listening because I have nothing. I can't add to this fight at all.
They're in the
so
throne room.
I hear
Yep,
you.
They're
there.
fighting.
Yep.
It's old Ben. Darth Vader's already dead. Dead.
Dead
Down
in
the
water.
hole.
Yeah.
He's there with Palpatine. He's like, Palpatine, I said it's good in you. Palpatine's like, you think? And he's like, yes, please come here. Give me your lightsaber. Lay it down. He goes over to him. And then, like Kylo, stabs him through and says, thank you. And then pushes him off the edge.
And then he dons the black robes and
Yes.
sits in the
Yeah.
chair
And then,
of the
finally.
Death Star.
yeah. And then he pulls off his
Man.
mask and it's Jar Jar the whole time.
That is the only way this fight could have went, where Obi-Wan wins. Thank you, Johnny. The next fight, Darth Vader versus Darth Revan. Darth Revan wins 57% to 43%.
Super close.
Sounds about right, though.
And before the final, this was the most voted for matchup of all. It was 1,100 votes for Vader to 1,500 votes for Revan.
Wow.
Very impassioned on this one. This is another fight that would
We
have
saw
been
a lot of good comments on that too. None that I
Yes.
can recall word for word, but
And
a lot of passion, a lot of good, big fans.
And I didn't tell you guys this. Before we do the final, I'm going to read some of the comments on the actual Yoda versus.
Love it.
Oh, I
You almost did it.
I almost
But
did
you
it.
didn't do it. You didn't do
I
it.
didn't
Don't
spoil
tell
the
us.
final.
You know, Darth Revan can do Force Storm, which
Yeah.
can kill any Vader-like person. So this is pretty. Is in the cards.
I mean,
Maybe we'll see that in that online series, that web series. Maybe we'll see him against Darth
Yeah.
Revan.
Oh no,
We won't.
but that is an interesting thing of Vader facing any other Sith is the Force lightning aspect of things. But this also would have been a crazy cool fight to see with Revan with the two lightsabers trying to defend Vader, just bearing down on him over and over again, probably making some space with those two lightsabers to be able to keep electrocuting him over and over again. That's how I would see it.
I'll tell you
going
what,
down.
though, I learned about a cool new trick that Vader had the whole time that I wasn't aware of, that I learned about in the Thrawn Alliances book. What if Vader pulled out the old empty suit trick?
I know. Yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
rad.
yeah.
Good for him. I mean, who knows? But he
Spoil-
did.
spoilers for Thrawn Alliances, but
what?
Vader might have an empty suit trick.
Maybe.
Maybe
You
not.
don't know.
And then Ahsoka Tano versus Galen Merrick. Galen wins 56% to
Yeah.
44%. Another really cool fight. This would be very. It'd be scary. I'll put it that way.
It's because he holds it backwards. That's why he wins.
I mean,
That's why he's so
Ahsoka.
cool.
She
Ahsoka
holds it
wore,
backwards. She's got
holds her
two.
backwards.
She holds one of hers backwards, and she has an additional one. So if
Oh,
anything,
yeah.
if we're going by if we're just going by math,
If we're just going by backwards lightsabers,
Well, wait, Galen has two as well.
no, this is Galen in the first game. So
Oh, okay.
one lightsaber.
One lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. So your argument is
but they're
null
all
and void.
they're all clones, right? So it's really just all of it at the same time.
Right. Of course. But no, Ahsoka.
damn bad ones too.
Wait.
Ahsoka versus Galen would have been very cool to see because Ahsoka is a very fun fighter to watch, and then of course Galen would just be like, "Ah,
We've seen
Yeah, he would just.
I
scream.
hate that I'm
He'd
alive."
scream the whole time.
Yeah.
We've seen Ahsoka fight off Anakin
Mhm.
on a what was the name of that
Rebels?
crazy planet? Well, Rebels, of course, we saw that.
Yeah.
but I'm talking about earlier in the Clone Wars when they were on
Mortis?
on Mortis when
Yeah.
they fought, and she was formidable.
But she fought Anakin, not Vader.
Regardless,
Yeah, same person. But no, yeah, that I think she channeled that later in her life because we take her at Rebels. That anger and that intensity that we saw in the Mortis stuff, and then she was able to take on a bunch of Inquisitors in Rebels basically by herself, and they have those spinny propeller
Oh,
lightsabers.
so cool.
You a big fan of the propeller lightsabers?
Love
huh?
them.
What if
What a
if they
clever
held,
idea.
What if they held them backwards? Would you like them then?
I might like them better.
Okay. The semifinals. Here we go. Yoda versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. I spoiled it. Yoda wins. 75% to 25%.
That's stupid.
Once again, Yoda, he would just beat Obi-Wan. I don't see this fight going longer than a minute.
no, it would just be Yoda asking Obi-Wan to leave, and yes, Master.
Is Obi-Wan at the top of the stands in the Geonosian region?
Even at the top of the stands.
Yeah, it
he
doesn't
would.
matter what mathematics the high ground is. Like Yoda could be in a pit.
Yoda
And Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan could be at the top of one of those poles in the Geonosian region, and Yoda could be at the very bottom, and Yoda would still win.
That's true. Unless he tries to like jump up, and then Obi-Wan could just cut off one of his legs.
I think he'd miss. He's too short because Obi-Wan always aims for the middle, but he's like aiming on a guy that's like average height.
Yeah.
So he would like over or undershoot it. and
it-
then he'd be like, "Dang it!"
And it would have been
he'd lose immediately.
It would have been weird if he was practicing on a Yoda-sized doll in the Jedi Academy when he was training.
People would find that a little suspicious.
He's just beating up a small pillow. He's like, maybe someday, who knows? It's got to always be prepared.
It's one of the Muppets, one of the props.
Oh yeah. But
Very
no,
meta.
I don't know how this fight would have went because once again, I don't know how Obi-Wan got there. I would love for
A
somebody
lot of
to tell
Obi-Wan
me.
hate from this corner of the studio.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not.
I mean, he's got a wry smile. First of all,
He's gonna get his own show.
second of all, third of all,
Yeah.
he's Jedi my trick.
So,
Gentleman trick.
gentlemen,
He'll just be like
He's
Yoda.
very
You'd be like,
clever.
You don't see me, and then he like doesn't see him.
but so you're saying Obi-Wan should have won that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next fight, Darth
He should have taken the cake.
Hey, I agree.
Revan versus Galen Merrick. Darth Revan wins also with 75% to 25%.
Rigged.
Rigged? You know, I saw a
I
bunch of
personally called up all the Darth Revan fans I know.
And you're like, please,
It's like, hey, can you vote in this poll?
please don't let him
You
win.
have to vote. You have to get
Johnny
rid of this
won't
Galen.
shut up
This
about
horrible clone.
Johnny's
That's
been
really what it was. I called people. I just cold called people. I just dialed numbers blindly. I said, "What do you think of clones?"
And they're like, I don't know.
Most of them were like,
And
I don't
seven-
like them.
I was gonna say 3 out of 4 said hate them. So I just put those down as the number.
Dang it.
During this whole tournament, Johnny's been holding everything backwards just out of solidarity for Galen Merrick to win.
right.
Pens, he hasn't written anything
Yeah, he writes. He has. We have to hold up a pad of paper behind him. and he
behind
moves
him
his-
in order to move
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Galen versus Revan, that would be actually really interesting to watch because
Surely, yeah.
here's the thing. I think Revan is powerful enough that he could basically, that's why he won. He could take on anything Galen would throw at him, but Galen would throw everything that he had at him.
Yeah.
Huge force blasts, huge electrical charges, a lot of flurries with his lightsaber. And I would love to see just Revan blocking it all basically and looking for a opportunity to take him out. And it might be a sort of, samurai-esque, but also Obi-Wan versus Maul in Rebels type thing where it would just be one quick bam where he would
Right.
get Galen
Right.
maybe when he was tired out.
It's an interesting matchup because you have Darth Revan who talks very, very little, and then you have Galen Merrick who screams all of his words.
And that's why I think it would be almost poetic. You have someone making a lot of movement, doing a lot of things, screaming a bunch, and someone who has no expression because of his mask, just blocking every single thing. But that brings us to our final.
I was gonna say Revan versus Galen Merrick, the silent one versus the really really loud one. Top 10 anime matchups.
That's right.
Oh, yeah? Let's,
3 episodes.
3. No. This one goes half a season.
Oh, whoa.
This one goes half a. This is
only 12% of my power.
You've only seen half of my power. And then Revan says nothing. He's, you don't know anything.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. Let's hear this final.
Well,
the final.
Here's
matchup.
what some of the people were saying on our Facebook
Yes,
page.
before we get to
Something I just want to give a shout out to Hawk Betzalel, who gave
Did you say his name is Hulk Betzalo?
HAWK Hawk, who gave a very long reason behind why Yoda would win, and
Okay.
he brought pieces of the books into it.
Oh.
He gave his reasonings, and he even gave a picture of JonTron. So if you want to take a look, this is everything
Oh my
from him.
goodness, that is an impressive.
And,
Wow.
and that's something that I like about this is a lot of people were able to have these polls as their forum to speak about how much they love a character and their fighting.
Their knowledge and their yeah.
And then how would you say this? Star Wars Revan
Revan kissed.
Academy. Believe it or not, they said Revan wins
Revankis.
easily.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have been weird if they were like, No,
Yeah, Revan
Yo-
loses.
Then they changed their name from that page to like
Galen
the Church of
Merrick.
Yoda.
I don't know why. That's just a weird mashup of words that was unnecessary. It's like saying Seventh Day Revantists.
Let's see. Everyone's saying Yoda would win. Clearly know nothing about Revan, says Jesse
Fighting
Amoroso.
words.
Let's see.
You don't know anything about Darth Revan.
I do think that, the older the Jedi is in the timeline, the stronger they are, generally.
You think so? Like the further back in history we go, the more
I
powerful
mean,
they
that's
get.
what they say in the games. So
They said it.
Interesting.
Darth Treya said it once in the game.
yeah, that's once.
Right.
You're trusting one person's.
I don't
opinion.
trust Treya. She's
What, Betraya? You don't trust her?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh boy, her name was Betraya.
No, her name was Treya.
Oh,
Well,
What-
Darth Treya.
What was the name of that?
Kreia was her regular name.
What was the name of that one Twi'lek in Jedi Academy? The Sith.
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay. But her name was also something very like
Evil.
like Sidious.
yes, exactly. Kyle Johnson says Yoda wins easily. Yoda being equal to Revenge of the Sith, Sidious makes him better than Darth Revan. It's very. A lot of people were saying Yoda blitzes. In a lot of the posts we made, people would say Yoda blitzes, which I like that. I want to have a shirt that just says
Yoda
Yoda
Blitz?
blitzes and he's carrying a football or something.
Yoda Blitz. I like that actually. That's a great idea. It's kind of like Zerg Rush. I don't know if you guys are StarCraft knowers.
No.
Apparently not.
I'm not.
Oh, I know Zerg.
Zerg Rush.
Yeah,
Oh.
they have that on PlanetSide.
What? Cool.
Yeah,
So
they say, oh, they're Zergy.
Before we get to the final, this is just for Johnny. John Wall says, "Can I just ask how the heck Revan beat Galen Merrick?"
Hey. That's right.
Yeah. Why did you were
I had
mad
to
at
think
first?
I had to think about that one.
Okay. Are you guys ready for this final matchup, Yoda versus Darth Revan? Once again,
Yeah.
voted on by so many people on Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. Here it is. The winner of the entire tournament. 51% to 49%.
That's close.
Darth Revan defeats Yoda.
Oh
Like
man,
I knew it.
that's poetic.
Literally,
51%.
Yoda had 48.54% to Revan, 51.46%. And this was our most voted on poll yet, which was Yoda got 1,243 votes and Revan got 1,318 votes.
Incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
So pretty close.
Thanks, everyone that voted.
Yeah,
oh my
I
gosh.
know, right?
I mean, this would have been really boring if it was like 4 people that voted.
Right.
Holy crap.
That, you know what? That's the best way to sum that all up. This would have been really boring if only 4 people voted, but so many people did. And like I said, it was a great way to have a forum for people to
Yes.
actually kind of fan cast their own way this
Absolutely.
fight would go. And also,
We talk about these things all the time when we're kids and you're at the lunch table.
Yeah.
These are the sorts of things that you want to, imagine in your heads, and you get your action figures when you're even younger than that.
and I'm happy we had a place for people to post their Obi-Wan memes. That was very
of
important
course.
to me.
That's an outlet that people are just waiting to itch.
So before we close this episode, let's think about how this fight between Yoda versus Revan would be. Revan has those 2 lightsabers, so it's very good for somebody like Yoda.
In the blue corner,
Oh, snap.
entering the Geonosian Coliseum.
Help me! These seats are so uncomfortable.
In the red corner, Yoda.
Yoda Witzerman. No,
Yeah.
This is his last name.
But yeah, so
he must
finally-
I think we said this in like the.
did you just say his name is Yoda Witzeman?
Yeah.
Wow, Joshua
related-
Witzeman's brother.
What do you know?
A much older
much
brother.
older? I was
Much
gonna say,
older.
much
Yeah.
older little brother.
Do you think Joshua was an oopsie baby then?
Oh,
900 years.
900 years, you know. Ooh, don't want to make that call.
Yeah. Let's not make that call. Let's make the call of what this fight would be about.
It's so tough. Yeah, let's talk about this fight.
So yeah, I would see Yoda blitzing, like everyone else would say.
Yoda blitz.
But Revan being able to fend him off not only in the Force, but with his lightsabers. He might be that cool, calculated Revan that we would have seen in his fight against Galen Merrick, and kind of take that same mentality against Yoda because of, once again, you have another person going over and over and over and over again at you, and you got to block it somehow. And he has more than enough Force resources, and then, of course, the two lightsabers to block that much attack.
Yeah. Also, he might have leveled up charisma all the way, and then just told Yoda to jump on his lightsaber.
No way that Yoda's wisdom level would allow for that. No way.
I don't know if his charisma is like at like 15. You could pretty much get
What
it.
if
How
they-
much
what if they-
charisma can you have when you don't say anything?
What if the game rolls a natural 20?
The game is.
But no, okay, so Yoda, going crazy. How long? Because
How long would
at
this
this
fight
point
go?
How long do we think Yoda would last? And what do you think he would start doing as time goes on and he gets slower?
I say this is a good 120-minute fight.
What?
2 hours.
I say 120 seconds.
Really?
So you think it's over within seconds? Within more 2 minutes?
I mean,
Yeah.
you heard what I
2
said.
minutes.
He just tells him to jump on him and then he dies.
It's not gonna happen,
No,
my
it'll
friend.
happen.
Not at all.
he
so
lo-
in this scenario, Revan's got both sabers, huh?
Yep.
And
he
Yoda's
just
got that little
he just
guy.
does the spinny thing.
Oh,
With the two lightsabers.
the infinite shield
The
spin.
infinite shield spin.
Right.
You've done it. You're a kid. You're like, I don't want my brothers to touch me. Please
I'm
just
just gonna
swing the lightsaber.
this around like Grievous.
Well,
Yeah.
either way, it would be both lightsaber and Force from both of them, especially Yoda. We've seen him, Force pushing and being a little mischievous with the Force, but I don't think that would work on Revan.
I think
you know
Darth
what I mean?
Revan learned the spinny thing from his matchup with Grievous.
He did.
Is that why
That is how.
you would probably say that Revan would pop out two other arms and two more lightsabers
Yeah.
and said, I was trained in the Jedi arts. Now let me just spin these with a...
And that's what caught Yoda off guard. He was just, Revan cheated.
I mean, where in Revan is this Revan after you've got to the end of the game? Or
This is Revan right before the games. So right before he
so he has no
gets
levels
blown
up. So he has nothing leveled up.
He was still the biggest Sith in the galaxy.
Yeah, but he's not leveled.
Oh my
He's
god!
not leveled up. He's got no attribute points.
I mean, what is
No
it?
EXP.
What's he gonna do?
Right, he hasn't even built the lightsaber yet.
I mean, well, that he does have.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have critical strike, flurry, or any of them attacks.
But he forgot a bunch of that stuff, and you know that even from the games. Because it's
Maybe.
like every other game where
Where
you
they
were
strip you
the
of all
best
your
at the
stuff.
beginning,
Yeah.
and now you've lost it all, and you forget
You
who
must
you are
relearn.
too.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Is that what he said? Do
That's
you
what Yoda
think?
said.
And it
to
didn't.
him.
Apparently, it didn't
He's
work.
like, why
on
would I
Revan.
unlearn it? I've spent all game getting these attributes.
But no, so I honestly think Revan would be able to defend. It's sort of the same way I was saying with Bane being able to defend to the point where Yoda was out of his bag of tricks. Because at this point too, Yoda's just he is old because this is Return of the Revenge of the Sith Yoda. So he's still old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a weathered Jedi Master. He does a lot of sitting and thinking lately.
right.
And how much stuff can you fit in a bag of tricks?
It's trick cereal.
Well, actually, now that I look at it,
It's like a tripping hazard.
we didn't list.
yeah,
We didn't
exactly.
list his bag of tricks in his weapon arsenal.
We probably
he just
should've.
had his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Dang it!
He's
Well,
got
we
a
didn't-
bag
That's probably why he
over his
didn't lose.
shoulder.
Like
He
Santa
reaches
Claus.
in. It's like a slinky or
Yeah,
something.
it should have said. It should have said. Yoda. Yoda is equipped with his single-bladed green lightsaber as well as a bag of tricks
Slinkies, though.
of discontinued
I think he would just-
slinkies he bought on bulk.
Genius.
Yes.
I still imagine that Yoda would have used a lot of Force abilities,
Oh, yeah.
specifically with all the dust that's around in the Geonosian arena. he could have like made like a storm happen around his opponents.
But couldn't Revan do Force Storm in that sense then
Force
too?
Storm is electricity, though.
But even still, if he's creating a storm of
sandstorm
dust,
of some sort.
But Yoda could just
Yoda
like
can absorb-
mold a bunch of clay and then give it Force life, and then that's just another soldier. That's the thing the Force can do, right?
mold life. Sure, I mean,
like,
there's
I mean
midichlorians.
that's what happened in Shmi's womb.
There you
it
go.
was just
He
a
just
little bit
does
of
that.
clay.
Yes.
And Anakin came out
And
9
a
months
rib.
later.
There you go. And a rib, yeah. That's how the Force works.
So yeah,
No other book I read.
They're all about it.
So yeah, there you go. That is the final. Revan
This was
beat
fun.
Yoda by literally the smallest margin he could.
Did you like that outcome?
Yes, I very much enjoyed that outcome. I was hoping that we would get to the point where there would be a fight that close because there has not been any other fight that was even close to that.
I disagree. No, there were other ones that was like 53% to 47. That's
you-
pretty close.
Tyler, did you just want Yoda to lose one?
Well, we had no Yoda's a really good candidate. Sidious versus Obi-Wan was 53%.
To 47. Yeah,
Yes.
so that was the only other really, really close one
Mm-hmm.
with Kenobi coming out on top. But you're right with this one being so... Shoo.
Calhoun, did you just want Yoda to lose one?
Of course not. I wanted Yoda to go all the way. It was Yoda or Luke for me.
I just wanted Yoda to lose one.
Well, he lost one.
Well, he lost one.
Well, there you go.
You got your wish.
Here's the thing. If we go back to the very first episode when we discussed who we thought were going to win the whole thing, I said Mace was my pick. And then before we ended, I said, I think the dark horse for this is going to be Revan. And look at that.
You were right all
I
along.
was right all along.
You get a pat
Just-
on the back.
You
Don't
knew.
check all of the votes.
Yeah, I was like, huh.
There might be
Suspicious.
Tyler Rux, Tyler Chucks, Tyler Mucks.
You had to
Look
do
at
that
all
a
these wow
thousand
reactions.
times.
Those
Yeah,
are all-
You had to make a bunch of fake accounts.
Yes.
That's a commitment.
Yeah, I'm announcing it here, guys. No.
They're all going. All of his alter egos are going to be at Celebration, taking up spaces at the big panels that you can't get in.
Yeah.
It's like what? Tyler Mux, Tyler Rux, and Tyler
is an
Tux.
empty room.
They're all here. But yeah, it's a completely.
It's an empty room except for
just
me.
us.
And you're just crossing your arms in the middle. And you're
Like, come on, let's get it going.
Now tell me about the Mandalorian.
Close the doors. I don't want anyone else.
People are walking in, and I'm like, woo! Yeah!
Don't,
Woohoo!
no, that's my seat. Don't
Do you want one of my business cards for my podcast, John?
This was
Talking about
exciting.
John
I think.
Favreau.
I think we might consider doing something, maybe not identical,
Mm-hmm.
but something similar in the future with these matchups.
I already
and
have-
voting. And
I already have an idea, but I won't bring that up here. And like that, before, I guess right now we could say that Darth Revan can be on the tiny chair of tiny victories.
Dethroned. You've been dethroned, Mr. Cad Bane's bounty.
Yeah, you've been dethroned by Darth Revan for winning an entire tournament. That's how important it is to get on the tiny chair of tiny victories. And you can dethrone Revan. No, he'll leave on his own volition.
Yeah.
But you can give us a 5-star rating and a review on iTunes and our Facebook page to be on this chair, on the set, and we will read what you say. Yep.
Make it funny.
It's
Make it good.
I'm demanding it.
It was almost like a little heckle. Make it funny.
Yeah. Hey,
Make it funny.
make your next one funny.
That's what we're
That'd
gonna
be
be.
perfect heckle, actually.
That's what we're gonna be saying when we're we're the only people in the
better write that
audience
down.
for these panels.
I'm just imagining a scenario
Okay.
where I'm doing stand-up comedy back in the day,
Yep.
and I say a joke, I finish it,
And
zero
Johnny
laughs,
says-
and just a person shouts, "Make the next one funny!" What a beautiful situation that would
Don't
have been.
give.
And it was your mother.
Oh, it may have happened.
She would
before.
never do that.
No, she's a saint.
So there you go. This was the first ever All Out Brawl tournament. If we don't come up with something in the meantime, it might be an annual thing. I'm
excited about that.
Who knows? But there might be more All Out Brawls. Anything else, fellas?
No, nothing except I'm disappointed that Yoda lost.
Oh yeah.
Nothing except Galen should have won.
He's a clone. It doesn't matter.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna leave. You guys can stay here and argue if you want.
Hey, you want to argue?
No.
We're doomed.